Good morning, everyone. This is Wednesday, April 16th, or Wednesday, April 17th, rather. This is the JupyterLab weekly meeting. My name is Eric Gentry. So we'll take a look at the agenda. Okay, so looks like first up is Mike.
Okay, so JupyterLab 4.2 has been in beta for 3 weeks now, and the aspirational release schedule that we discussed previously included making a release candidate today. So my question is basically, are we feeling ready for an RC, or do we want another beta? And are there any pull requests which are waiting to be reviewed, which are especially enhancements, less so bug fixes, which would be good to include in a next release, I mean next pre-release. So I know that there is
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I know that there is the last modified column pull request, which is, I feel, almost ready, and I would love to include it. And another one from Jason is about search and replace improvements. I'm not sure whether that one is ready, but
I just
seems like
revised that one late last night, your time. I don't know if you took a look at it. I haven't gone through all my emails.
I saw that there was some movement. I'm just not sure if that is ready for another review.
I believe it is. I haven't gone through all of the, actually, no, I did go through the test cases. I didn't see any failures as we were discussing before.
Okay.
So take another look. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, sure, will do.
I was taking a look though. In total, I just pasted a link in the chat. There are 52 open issues that are tagged for milestone 420.
Yeah.
Let me
So
do a quick.
many of these are things which were bumped from the previous one, and those were like added for consideration.
Yeah.
So we are not bound by these issues, but the thing that we are lagging behind on is actually reviewing them. And I would strongly suggest that we have at least PR triage for things which are tagged for 4.2. And if we still have time after that, also look at issues.
You want to do that?
Last few times I proposed that, but we never got free time at the end of the meeting. So this time I'm explicitly asking at the beginning, can we please reserve 20 minutes at the end to commit for that purpose?
Okay, I will add that to the end of the agenda so we don't forget.
Okay, any thoughts on beta versus RC?
Yes, I'm wondering, do we have any feedback from users, especially when it comes to the new default of the full windowing mode? I was curious because I don't know if we reach out enough to users so they can try. And it's not easy to know if people have actually tried the beta. And I was pretty curious to see if we could have an idea of this. But I also guess that it would still be fine to revert to the default during the RC in case we find something later to not block the RC. But I was just wondering about this particular point, especially since we've also been trying to do this in Notebook. So it's been a few issues with this lately, and we still don't have a Notebook beta with a full windowing mode by default yet, although it's almost there. So I was wondering about that testing period and what to do with that choice.
So that would imply that because Notebook didn't have that enabled, and that's a pretty crucial change, or rather a change with large surface area for bugs, that the Notebook would have to be either delayed in release compared to lab, which wouldn't be that bad, or we would need to prolong our RC phase a little bit to allow the notebook testing to catch up, which I think both solutions are fine. Answering your question on the feedback from users, I saw and resolved two bug reports. So one was regarding the recently opened menu, and one was an actual release blocker because the tab completer was not working properly. But there was no reports about windowing from anyone who tried a beta or any issues with Notebook itself. So at least we know that some people try that, and we didn't get issues reported on that part of the experience.
Yeah, and also in terms of reach, so we have a post on Mastodon, and I also posted on X Twitter and LinkedIn today, but it's a bit late, maybe, but I'm wondering if we can get some more users to try the beta like this, or maybe we should also bump the discourse topic as well to give it a bit more visibility.
So definitely, like if we do an RC, we can post on socials again and ask the social media group to spread the word on this. So that would be like possibly more enticing for people to try than, well, beta 3 is available. Like, okay, it's not as catchy of a title.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly like how to do the like social media group. Are they able to repost our personal post, or like do we need to do like a request to them so that they can retweet or repost the
What you can do is draft one on your account, and they can, I think, post it to the organization.
Yeah, but we already have the post out there.
Oh,
Andrew has
okay.
his
I see.
red
I see.
hand raised.
Yeah, we can very much repost things. So yeah, we would be happy to repost stuff. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. So yeah, we would be happy to repost stuff. Drop us an email, and we would be very happy to repost. We had some discussions internal, and like reposting is even better because it empowers contributors, which is in the spirit of open source. So we would be happy to.
Right. Anybody have anything else before we move on? All right, Jeremy, you're up next.
Yes. So a little bit related to the discussion before. So I opened an issue to try to see what other people think about having better testing of Notebook 7 somewhere. So it might be on the CI of JupyterLab or somewhere else. It's not clear yet how this should be done, but I'm wondering like if there is a way we could catch issues a little bit ahead of time, because the past I don't know, like the past few releases, it was always a little bit like this game of waiting for releases from lab and then always having a little delay in terms of maintenance. Sometimes things change in lab and they break notebook, and it's a bit difficult to know in advance, I suppose, when working in lab, if we don't have like CI or checks in place to see if we can if there is an impact on the downstream applications like Notebook 7. So yeah, I'm raising this here to just so that if people have an opinion or ideas, we can continue on the issues, no problem. And I also looked a little bit at the state of the JupyterLab repo and see if we can do a bit more maintenance on it. And one thing that showed up lately was that since we're now using Node 20, they have a native test runner, which is now stable. And I was wondering if anyone had tried that already for some other projects maybe, and see if it could be an alternative to Jest, since we sometimes have issues with the Jest config and also maintaining this like over time. I was wondering if this could help simplify the code base a little bit. And now we have like not 20 as a requirement for like development of the repo. So maybe it's worth a try. That will be quite of a huge task because we have to change everything. Unless we could maybe just try it with a few packages that are maybe easier to put under the Node.js native test runner, and then keep the rest on the Jest. Could be one option. And the final point I had was about TypeScript updates. So we're still at 5.1. And it looks like we're starting to lag a little bit behind the latest table, which is 5.4. So I was also wondering if someone would like to have a look at this, maybe. There is one challenge, which was already found last time during the last update to 5.1. So we didn't update to 5.2 because it will require changing the TS config, especially the module and module resolution fields. So this would be like the thing to check, I think, also on our side and see how it's going to affect other applications or extensions consuming the packages. But it would be nice to at least have a PR somewhere in the draft mode to see like how much work it will be. And again, not to be like a bit too much behind the main TypeScript version. Yeah, that's it. If anyone wants to discuss any of these points, we can do it now or also on the issues.
I posted some comments on the first two issues. Not sure about TypeScript update though, so it's certainly something to consider for. And the question is for the next release, and should it be in a minor or major release? Does it require a major release?
Yeah, I don't know yet. So we won't get it for 4.2. I think it's not enough time.
No, I
For the 3.
absolutely no. But 4.3 versus like 5, we don't say that a lot here. But yeah, there will be JupyterLab 5, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if we could delay the time when we start having breaking changes, that'll be for the best for everybody. So I don't know if there is a way to not break things, maybe by doing this update, I hope, or at least make it very easy to migrate, even if it's the minor version. But yeah, I don't know yet.
Something that we previously were discussing when evaluating this kind of TypeScript bump was what are the advantages, like, and of course it's probably faster than the previous version because they have very good track record of improving performance. And I know that there is especially one feature about inference of conditional inference of types as non-null, which would be greatly useful to simplify writing some kind of code where you are first checking for an attribute as being defined and then trying to access that attribute. So that was fixed in a newer TypeScript version that we have. But I'm not sure whether there is anything major other than these points. Like, are there any things in the DOM library which are only available in the newer TypeScript versions?
I don't know because then
Yeah, sorry, I'm not asking you to
yeah.
because I don't know either. What I'm suggesting is that if anything comes up that would be useful, maybe we should start creating a list in that issue, like listing nice to have things which would benefit us. And then when we are confident that there is enough of a benefit to move to a newer version, then we should like put more effort to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is we need to check the change logs for 5.2, 5.3, and 5.4. And I think the main point was that the more we wait, the more versions we have to check. And in the past also I remember one TypeScript update was quite particularly painful to do because we were like a few versions behind. It took a long time. So it's just yeah, like this regular maintenance task that will hopefully would help us in the long run. But it's unfortunate that these changes with the module and module resolution might be breaking for us at least.
All right. Looks like Rosio is next up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, okay. I'm having a bit of connection issues, so apologize if I drop off, but I just had a question in there's a branch protection rule in the notebook repository that targets all branches and requires the test checks step to be completed, which has some workflows that are not defined for like notebook other notebook branches. And I was wondering if there is so currently there's a PR in branch 6.5 point X. I'll paste the PR. I think Jeremy has had pinged us there, so I have to find the PR. Sorry, I have a
Is
so
is this regarding the 6.5 unpinning of that package?
yeah, it's just I'll post it here, sorry.
Thanks.
It's yeah, it's currently stuck. The PR is I tried merging that because I checked the CI like failures and they're not related to the PR, but it's stuck because test check is expected. And the test check has like a few it requires a few workflows that are not defined for notebook 6.5, or at least in the workflow files for this branch. And so I'm not sure if there's a different way to get that merged, or if that branch protection rule could be modified so it doesn't target some specific branches. Either it doesn't target anything but like 7 and main, or it just ignores 6.5 for now.
Yeah,
There
so
should be. Sorry, go ahead.
We had a similar issue in JupyterLab about a month ago when we updated the branch when we updated the Python version on which the lint job was running, and because in the title of the job it was Python 3.12 rather than Python 3.11, we couldn't merge pull requests on backports. So like very similar conceptually problem. And what we were trying to, the way we tried to resolve that with Jeremy was by changing the branch protection rules so that they were set on a per branch basis rather than on the entire repository.
I think you can also set exceptions to particular branches, right?
Possibly.
Yeah, that's where I think I was just confused as to what to go with. But if this conversation has been had before and then it moved to like sort of per branch basis, I think that would be great. I just didn't have I didn't know what to go with, and I don't have the ability to change any of that. I think I can't see or I can't modify any of that. So I was wondering if someone would have help out with that change, or if I don't know, I can.
Yeah, is there anyone who can take that on, who has permissions?
I think it would also be fine to just ignore that check if we want to get the PR merged, if it looks
Mhm.
good.
But because not everyone can do that. Not everyone has
Yeah.
admin rights
Yeah,
and that
that's
checkbox
right.
that you might be seeing. So the question, do you see the checkbox to skip, like ignore the checks?
I don't
don't
see
see.
that.
Yeah,
I think
okay,
I'm in.
I can do it. So if you're fine, I think I can merge the PR, and then you can also, you should be able to do the releases, I guess, still.
Okay,
So
I can. What?
that's funny. The releases of backports in JupyterLab failed because the releaser branch was running from main, and the
Mm.
branch protection rule on main failed. So I had to finalize one of the releases manually. So my suggestion is, let's go ahead, merge that, try to release, but let's coordinate with someone who has elevated rights in case if things go wrong, because they can.
Yes, and the releaser setup also changed recently, at least in the past few weeks, to use the new GitHub app. I'm not sure if it's gonna work with this 6.5x branch.
Great.
It-
Oh, did you have anything else before we move on?
Well, I can give it a try after that PR is merged, and then follow up on that on an issue or something, or just on a meeting too, if there's any issues. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right, next up is Nicholas.
So I just wanted to highlight an issue I opened in Team Compass to move a repo to the JupyterLab org, and I don't really know what the process then. Do I have to wait for a number of upvote, or do I have to, I don't know. I don't really know, and I don't know who can move it then. So this was my question. So the issue is, yeah, I just put the issue in the chat. I don't know if there is a process, a regular process for that. That's it.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like Jeremy said CCing JupyterLab Council for Awareness, but I noticed that is not bolded. I'm not, and I was a member of the JupyterLab Council. I don't think I got email about that. So it might be good to send a quick email to the JupyterLab Council, like mailing list about that.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So are you saying that you are not getting the GitHub notification when the team is mentioned?
I don't think I got mentioned about that
Was
particular
it
one.
edited? I think edits, if you add a mention in an edit, I don't think it sends an alert out.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I do see CC JupyterLab count. No, I do see it yesterday. No, that may be a false alarm. I apologize. It was yesterday early morning my time, so I didn't see it like overnight. Don't worry about that. Okay. Yeah, that was just a weird quirk on my machine that I didn't see it highlighted. Now I do.
So the issue is that those are not sent, like if you have GitHub app installed on your phone, and these notifications are not sent. And I think
Okay.
it doesn't always send an email, but if you actually go into GitHub interface, the link that I've sent in the chat, it will
Okay.
show up there. So it's like probably a good
I
thing if you are in our org where teams are frequently mentioned, that they have different settings, but I don't know how to change them.
I get so many notifications from GitHub that I apologize if I can't keep them all with the same set of urgency.
shall we propose that we will move the repo next week at this time, if there is no objections, and send an email to the council and just proceed forward if there is no vote against. So it's like a vote, but without forcing everyone to check the checkbox and without the overhead.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks. But so do you think I should send an email?
Yep.
Okay. Nice. Thank you.
Okay. Florence has an item in additional discussion. Did you want to? I think we should be able to squeeze her demo in before our 20 minutes of kind of the like 4.2 issue review. Florence, did you want to do that now on the recording, or did you want to wait until after the recording is off?
I can do it during the recording. It won't be very long.
Okay, go ahead.
So I will share my screen.
We're not getting your screen share yet. Okay, it looks like screen share is starting. We can see your meeting screen.
Do you see the notebook?
Yep.
Okay. So this demo is related to this PR. So the idea is to be able to filter the cells of a notebook with some tags. So this can be custom tags, or also it can be filtering with respect to the type of cell. So this PR was started some months ago, and so there was some issues with testing, and so I went back recently on it. So the current UI is this one. So you've got in the command tools this button. If you have put some tags on the cells, you can see them here. And so when you click on this filter cells button, it opens a dialog. So we discussed the possibility to use a pop-up instead of dialog, but we kind of agreed that for the moment we will keep this UI, and maybe in the future we will change it to a pop-up. So here you can select your cell type and your custom type, and then you can apply the filter, and typically it will collapse all the cells that are not respecting the filters you choose. And so here, for instance, you only have the code and orange cell that is not collapsed. So the PR is ready for merging if there is no further discussion about the design or something like that. But so that's here the opportunity to discuss it. If you think there are better options, thank you.
So one thing that strikes me is that the button says filter, but what it does is something in between filtering and collapsing cells, which might be fine, but maybe we we might want to revisit how we call this button.
Do you have any idea of other denominations or?
I don't, because I can describe that in 5 words. I cannot describe that in something which fits into the UI, but we'll think about something, I guess. Another
If it was,
question. Yep.
sorry, man, my bad. I'll raise my hand.
Go on.
Oh, now I've done it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, and I'm pretty sure that at some point, maybe just another meeting, we don't need more dialogues for things that are not irrecoverable. Dialogues should trigger that something scary is about to happen, and red on the screen is scary. If that was if you could directly manipulate that, for example, from the table of contents, I don't know if table of contents is extensible with additional widgets, but it could be over there, and you'd be able to see what was being filtered. And again, it would just be collapse. Just say the word collapse. If we call it collapse somewhere else, just call it collapse. We've got an icon for collapse, and have that set over there. If it gets stored in the metadata, then yeah, it should definitely be stored over in the metadata side for sure. If it's entirely transient, then talk would be fine because talk is transient. Yeah, those are my feedbacks there. Also, the form controls. We need some standard styling for field set because that's an ugly baby border. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, and probably reuse the float control for the tags, because if you got 100 tags, then you're not gonna be able to find them. You're not gonna be able to find 100 tags anyway. But if someone is really leaning into the tag thing, then that's what they're gonna get. But having something that felt more directly manipulable, because the use case for this, I guess, was still not entirely clear to me. Is this like I'm a lecturer in a college course, and I'm about to present, so I'm going to collapse down to some filtered set of things and show it, or I don't know. That's what I don't know, and I don't know how it would interact with NB convert if it is persistent data, if it's supposed to do something there. That was all.
I think these are all very good thoughts, but the question would be, are any of those blocking merging this pull request? Or is it fine to potentially release this and iterate in next version?
Well, I mean, why isn't it an extension first? Is there an extension that already does this that we're counterfeiting? We pulling an apple there? Like, I don't know. Defending the use case for adding more buttons and making something that's complex, like the metadata sidebar, to be more complex, and if it doesn't actually change metadata, it's just more confusing. But I can't even approve anything, so it doesn't matter. So ignore me.
So this is an addition to the core, or this is not an extension?
Yes, this is in core. But maybe yeah, we can make it an extension. I don't know.
Personally, I would be in favor of that. I think it helps keep the code more self-contained.
So then the question becomes, can you already make an extension, or do you need an extension point? And that would be probably good to check, because if there are any changes that you need to have in core to make an extension, I would be in favor of merging those, if those are like small extensions to the API. And
Yeah,
that's
that would be great.
probably a smaller ask than adding the feature, which is not necessarily user tested enough, that like we are not confident about the design. At least that's what I'm reading from this meeting.
Thanks for your work on this. All right. Does anyone have anything else to say before we go to the off the record portion? All right. That's it. We'll end the recording. Everybody brace yourselves.